Hi, I'm Nada Nazir and you're watching tvsarawak.com. Here is the headline. Citizens are advised not to be easily duped by the campaign claiming that Sarawak will leave Malaysia. Citizens are advised not to be easily duped by the campaign claiming that Sarawak will leave Malaysia. Assistant Minister of Public Utilities, Electricity and Telecommunications, Dr. Stephen Rundi, however, agreed that people would want the appropriate recognition from its peninsular counterpart in seeing that the state would continue to progress. Dr. Rundi also reminded his countrymen to remain united amidst the differences in political ideologies. Meanwhile, the Merdeka Jalur Gemilang convoy, he pointed out, was an exemplary program to remember the special days and honour the efforts of great past leaders. Dr. Rundi added that the government wanted to focus on bringing rapid development to rural areas, many of which are still lacking in infrastructure, so as to improve the socio-economic status and livelihood of the folk there. Dr. Rundi added that the government wanted to focus on bringing rapid development to rural areas, many of which are still lacking in infrastructure, so as to improve the socio-economic status and livelihood of the folk there. Dr. Rundi also advised young people to understand the nation's history so that they would not be confused. Also present at the event were Bintulu District Officer Tuah Suni, Temenggung Utong Sigan and Information Department's Convoy Leader Helmi Hamid. The development of some 11,000 hectares of native customary rights land with oil palm in Song is expected to be a major economic boost to uplift the livelihood of people from 32 longhouses in the district, says a political secretary to the Chief Minister Tengku Gruna. He said the Sarawak Land Consolidation and Rehabilitation Authority, SALCRA, has identified the said area as its initial land development in Song. He also said Deputy Chief Minister and SALCRA Chairman Datuk Patinggi Tan Sri Alfred Jabu had made the announcement sometime in July this year that Song has been identified as one of the new areas to be developed by SALCRA. Tengku disclosed that almost all the longhouse chiefs from 32 longhouses have agreed for their land to be developed by SALCRA. He mentioned that SALCRA would hold a dialogue in Song for all the affected longhouses sometime in December or even sooner than that. Tengku explained that under the government's transformation program, land development is one of its main essence, so that in the long run, the people, especially in the rural areas, would have a much better income. He anticipated that with the completion of the Song Kapit Road in the next 3 years, it would further boost the economic transformation program for the people in Song. The Kabong Sub-District Office, in collaboration with the Special Affairs Department Jasa Kalaka, will hold the Malam Aspirasi Malaysiaku on Malaysia Day this Tuesday. Organising Chairman Nazari Bujang said the event would be held at Dataran Permata, Kabong. He added that the night's program will feature various performances, mainly to portray the patriotic spirit and love towards the nation through dances, poetry, sketches and others. He called on residents in Kabong and surrounding areas to witness the meaningful show. Recording artists Rohana Jalil, Zur Eda, Isma AF and Margaret Jalang are scheduled to perform at the event. Chief Minister Datuk Patinggi Tan Sri Datuk Amar Adnan Satim is expected to join the crowd at the 916 Malaysia Day countdown at North Yew Seng Road and Jalan Post on September 15th. The Chief Minister is expected to also launch the Malaysia Day Pictorial Expo at the lobby of Imperial Permaisuri Mall. The expo will feature the history and development of the state, particularly Miri. The expo, which commenced yesterday, will last until September 16th. After launching and visiting the expo, the Chief Minister will launch the countdown together with Universal Robots. It is anticipated a crowd of 20,000 of locals, visitors and tourists, including Bruneians, together along North Yew Seng Road and Jalan Post for the event, which will be featuring artists and entertainment personalities from Sarawak, Sabah and Peninsula, including from South Korea and a DJ from Ukraine. For the first time, the organizers, Miri City Council, in collaboration with Imperial Hotel Group of Companies and Shenyang Sport and Recreational Club, have flown in 2 universal robots from Madrid, Spain, for a spectacular event to mark Malaysia Day. These robots are actually 2 men in robot costumes with full LED and laser show on stilts measuring up to 12 feet tall. Fans of Transformers, especially children, would be thrilled as Astro will be presenting the action figures in the event. The event also will be featuring a number of local performers from Miri, like Chloe Chan and Christine Chua, Astro's singing talents, Supergirls from Riam Road Secondary School, Finger Basket from Miriam Brunei, and Lil Ice and Redemption Band from Club Celebrities and Cherry Berries, respectively. Moving on to regional news. Deputy Prime Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin said Barisan Nasional (BN) will use the Pangkalan Kubur by-election to explain the oil royalty issue. He said BN will use the opportunity to refute slander that Petronas had yet to pay oil royalty amounting to 12 billion ringgit to the Kelantan government. Speaking to reporters after the nomination process for the Pangkalan Kubur by-election at the Tumpat Land and District Office on Friday, he said that BN would explain to the people of Kelantan that the oil royalty issue was slander by the opposition against the federal government. He said that Petronas is a government-owned company that practices transparency and accountability. The area for oil exploration entails cooperation with Thailand, and the distance is more than 3 nautical miles, which means it does not belong to the Kelantan state government. Singapore's decision to charge foreign-registered vehicles a new entry toll, as well as increase the current toll for vehicles leaving the country, is entirely the prerogative of the Singapore government. In a statement here Saturday, Works Minister Datuk Fadilah Yusof said Singapore is a sovereign state and was entitled to make its own policy. Singapore's toll charges from October 1st for all vehicles except motorcycles leaving the Republic through the causeway will be increased to match the new Malaysian toll. Meanwhile, Fadilah said the toll imposed by Malaysia at the customs, immigration and quarantine at Bangunan Sultan Iskandar was for infrastructure and facilities provided and maintained by the concessionaire being used by commuters. He said the CIQ BSI served as a one-stop center and all operations were performed at a single point to avoid traffic congestion. The Eastern Dispersal Link, which connects from Pandan Interchange to CIQ BSI, was built to help disperse traffic in Johor Bahru and provide direct access from the Plus Highway to CIQ BSI, added the minister. However, Fadilah said Malaysia would continue to encourage commuters travelling daily to and from Singapore to use public transportation. The Malaysian National News Agency Bernama, which has been operating for 46 years, has the potential to become the best source of news and information in this region. Deputy Minister of Human Resources, Datuk Sri Ismail Abdul Muttalib said Bernama has to enhance the quality of services as a news provider that is respected, accurate and truthful. He advised employers to practice esprit de corps, which covers loyalty, camaraderie, and move towards a proactive and outstanding work culture. He reminded every employee, officer and the management to respect, assist, avoid prejudice, doubt, oppress and create harmony and unity in their actions and decisions. Meanwhile, Bernama Chairman Dato' Abdul Rahman Sulaiman said the harmonious relationship between the union members and the employer must be maintained to make Bernama an active and professional organisation. The Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission MACC is conducting an inspection of the Customs Department system and procedures on the management and enforcement of tax-free goods. MACC Inspection and Consultation Division Director Datuk Muhammad Yusof Akob said the inspection is aimed at ensuring that the customs system and enforcement is conducted more meticulously and effectively. He said that inspections were held at tax-free zones nationwide following a special operation of the MACC recently. In addition, MACC also held a corruption risk management workshop with customs in 6 zones, namely Northern, Southern, Eastern, Central, Sabah and Sarawak, since early this year. He explained that the workshops held focus on the enforcement system and procedures of goods entry and exit via the main gateways, namely ports, border and airports as gazetted by the government. And now to the international front. Managing Director of the International Monetary Fund (IMF), Christine Lagarde, in Tokyo on Friday, supported the Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe's proposals on women and economy, reports Iran's IRNA news agency on Saturday. She said that women's involvement in economic activities could be a tremendous boon to the 21st century global economy. However, she said that it requires changes in public policy complemented by changes in business culture. Businesses must welcome more women, make the work environment more flexible, and encourage both men and women to take parental leave. She raised 3 points, which are first, a bird's-eye view of female economic exclusion today in Japan and elsewhere. Second, how to empower women in the economy across 3 areas: economic policies, laws and institutions, and societal and business culture. And third, and what Japan can do to further boost women's economic empowerment. Vice President Hamid Ansari indicated that Asia's political influence in regional and global affairs would increase and it would regain the dominant economic position it held. Ansari cited an Asian Development Bank study which said that if Asia's current rate of economic growth continues, by 2050, it would account for around half of the global product output, trade and investment. By mid-century, Asia can match per capita income enjoyed by the Europeans today and make about 3 billion people affluent by current standards, the study said. The Vice President pointed out that Asia also required to sustain high growth rates, address widening inequities, mitigate environmental degradation due to global warming and climate change, compete for finite natural resources such as energy, water and fertile land, and ensure food security. He added that if steps are not taken to address these issues, it could impact one another and increase tensions, unrest, and conflicts, and even create new flashpoints within and across Asia that may threaten its growth, stability, and security. Let's move on to sports. Malaysia failed to advance to the 2014 Asian Netball Championship finals after losing 39-46 to Singapore in the semi-final match held at OCBC Arena in Singapore today. With a win, the defending champion is set to meet 4-time champion Sri Lanka tomorrow after the latter defeated 1993 champion Hong Kong with a 57-42 victory in another semi-final encounter. In today's match, Singapore took a 15-11 lead in the first quarter of the game before extending their lead to 27-23 in the second quarter. Vying for their third title after 2005 and 2012, Singapore stepped up its games with a 38-32 scoreline in the third quarter before completing the match with a 46-39 victory against Malaysia, said the organizer Netball Singapore in a statement Saturday. Malaysia and Hong Kong will play for the third-placing playoff match tomorrow. Diego Costa scored his first Chelsea hat-trick as they came from behind to beat Swansea and maintain their 100% start to the Premier League season. Swansea took the lead as John Terry turned a low cross into his own net, but Costa equalized just before half-time. Chelsea's dominance was rewarded when Costa converted a Cesc Fabregas pass. The Spain striker guided a low Ramirez shot past Lucas Fabianski, and Loic Remy scored his first Blues goal before Jonjo Shelvey's late consolation. As Chelsea opened up a 3-point gap at the top of the table, summer signings Costa and Fabregas offered further evidence of the extra edge they have added to the team that finished third last season. Costa, who passed a late fitness test on a hamstring injury suffered on international duty with Spain, departed to a standing ovation after scoring his 7th goal in 4 games for the Blues. Arsenal were denied victory by Martin Demichelis's late equaliser as they fought out an entertaining draw with Manchester City at Emirates Stadium. England striker Danny Welbeck made its Arsenal debut after his £16 million move from Manchester United and should have celebrated with a goal, only to strike a post when clean through early on. Sergio Aguero made Arsenal pay for that miss by putting City ahead before halftime, but goals from Jack Wilshere and Alexis Sanchez saw the Gunners in sight of a memorable victory. Their hopes were dashed when poor marking at a corner allowed Argentine defender Demichelis to beat Arsenal keeper Wojciech Szczesny to earn a point 7 minutes from time. In a frantic finish, Alexander Kolarov hit the post for Manchester City, and Arsenal defender Laurent Koscielny cleared against his own post as the Premier League champions threatened to snatch the 3 points, which would have been very cruel on Arsene Wenger's side. Formula E made its debut in Beijing with a spectacular crash at the last corner which cost longtime leader Nicolas Prost the race. The Frenchman, son of Formula One legend Alain Prost, collided with Germany's Nick Heidfeld, allowing Audi Sport's Lucas di Grassi to triumph. The 1-hour races, in which drivers have to change cars halfway through as a battery has not yet been developed to provide enough power for a full race, feature music during the races as well as a fan boost where 3 drivers with the most social media votes have the power of their cars increased. On to special reports. Does food truly alter your mood? For many of us who believe so, here comes the denial. New research finds that contrary to our beliefs, such foods don't have any special ability to improve our moods. Take a look at the link below to find out more for yourself about the research which attempts to widen the gap between food and our mood. Amid rumors and leaks surrounding the new Apple phone, operating system and peripherals, Apple clearly saw and took advantage of the looming perfect storm in mobile payments that's been swirling and growling on the horizon for the last few years. It is now clear Apple is taking advantage of partnerships more than technology in order to innovate in this burgeoning space. Apple has been focused on delivering some intriguing solutions to problems on the periphery of mobile payments for the last few years, but none until now that has captured a major portion of the in-store mobile payments experience. As Apple rolls out the iPhone 6 with iOS 8 and Apple Pay, users will have a whole new world of NFC-enabled secure payment capabilities open to them. The iPhone leverages a secure element SE inside the chip to store sensitive data, can bring on board new credit cards via the device's camera, and uses tokenization to protect real credit card data when it is in flight, traversing the various networks within the payment ecosystem. But the true innovation here for Apple was in recognizing that the ecosystem, technology, partners, merchants and consumers was nearly in place and simply needed a leader to bring it all together. And that wraps up our news today. I'm Nadia Nazir. Thank you for watching TV Sarawak. Have a great day ahead.